Hello, hungry learners. Today I wanted to show you my ultimate geothermal power double boiler. I haven't seen this anywhere else online, so this is my original concept. I don't know if anyone else has ever come up with this before, probably, but yeah, I haven't seen any videos or anything about it. So you've seen the hot room and you've seen geothermal spikes and everything. People will commonly have a diamond spike where they use window tiles made out of diamond for their high thermal conductivity. They'll have a mechanized airlock so you can control the temperature input. But in this double boiler design, I was trying to extract the temperature from these hot obsidian and igneous rock veins on the I forget what the asteroid is called. It's the Vulcania. So Vulcania is full of these hot obsidian and lava pockets. They're all over the place. So what I found out is that duplicants can actually walk on these hot tiles without having any issues as long as they're in Atmos suits and it's in a vacuum. You see a duplicant scalding threshold is about 900 degrees when they're in an Atmos suit, and this igneous rock, of course, and the obsidian is well above that. I mean, it's around 1,000 to sometimes 12,000, 13,000, or 1,300 rather, degrees. And so what I did, instead of having a diamond spike, originally I had a diamond spike here injecting heat into my hot box, but it's kind of slow. So I came up with the idea to mine all of this out and then push it all to one spot and then create a double boiler, just like how you melt chocolate by putting water in a pan and then you have your chocolate. I don't want to overheat my turbines. Oops, we're out of power. Why are we out of power? Nope. We're taking too much power. Something happened to my power grid. It got disconnected. Oh. Right. Boop, there we go. So, yeah, I have this in a vacuum, and that's very important because if it was not a vacuum, then you couldn't have water as your liquid lock. I kind of messed up the liquid lock there. I'm not very good. And then I have my jumbo battery array running over and controlling when the generators turn on and off, because I want to make sure that I'm always getting maximum power out of these. And yeah, so you have to make sure your aqua tuner is powered and your mechanized airlock. The mechanized airlock doesn't strictly have to be powered, but you might as well. And then the temperature here is around 1,000 degrees in this bottom steam room, and then it's only 200 degrees in this steam room because I have my window tiles here and the mechanized airlock with this thermosensor turning it off whenever it gets to 195. And so that way the steam hangs out around 195 and I don't waste much, if any, heat inside this room, and I can just have the 1,000 degree steam here that's much better at conducting the temperature than a diamond spike is, because you have to constantly keep expanding the spike as the area directly around it cools down. But this way all of these items are contributing heat to this room, and that makes the amount of surface area extremely large, and so this steam gets up to temperature very quickly and quickly can transfer it. And so now, as you can see, the turbines are on. Anyway, so for our liquids, I have these conduction panels behind I have 2 of them behind every turbine. Those are just to ensure the turbines don't overheat, because they will quickly overheat. They will very quickly overheat. You also have to have a conduction panel behind your power transformer, because that will also generate heat, and in a vacuum there's no way for it to dissipate the heat. And I don't want to put air into this room, partially because of this abyssalite. I'm going to need to figure out something to do with this abyssalite before I let air into here, because there's a lot of thermal mass in the abyssalite, 4 DTUs per gram, and there's thousands of kilograms here. Anyway, and then, yeah. So I just filled up this steam room. Then this was already vacuumed out. A little tip to get all of this area vacuumed out. Since they are solid, you can create a liquid lock, and then as long as there's no air at all, and then they mine the tiles, they don't produce any gases. And so you have to keep all of the tiles vacuumed out. So for example, you might build a liquid lock like this, and I would suggest building tiles like that, and then placing your placing your liquid in. You might have to deconstruct these tiles just to let any air out, and then you can construct them, make sure that dupes build them. I don't actually want the dupes to build them, but anyway. And then, and you'd also want to build your tiles, oops, there, like that. Okay, so now, once this is full of liquid, you build these 3 tiles here, you build those, and then you have dupes come in and deconstruct these, or in my case I'll just cancel them, and then you could have dupes dig out this way, and as long as you made sure to place those 4 tiles there, there won't be any gases, and then you can dig out all of these tiles and it won't create any gases, and this whole area will be vacuumed out. And so your dupes will not overheat, because if they are exposed to 900-degree gas, then it will overheat them. Yeah, so that's basically what I did here, except I just built this liquid lock in a little room, and then I vacuumed out the room with a pump. Yeah, I hadn't considered the option of just building tiles at that time, but anyway. So now we have this whole area vacuumed out, and it was always a vacuum while they were digging, and they never had trouble. And then I used auto sweepers and loaders. You could have used your dupes and had them relocate the items with the relocate item command, but I just had them build steel auto sweepers, and I had to deconstruct them a couple times. But anyway, I got all the items down into a smaller area, because I could have built, say, across this whole top here, but then that would just take so much more steam. It already takes a lot of water. This is 31 kilograms per tile, and ideally you want around 100 kilograms per tile. You don't really need more than 100 kilograms per tile, but you probably don't want less. I just, since these don't always run, I figured I don't need 100 kilograms per tile in here. But anyway, so there's my double boiler. Whenever the batteries get low, they turn on the steam turbines again. And of course the aqua tuner, always trying to keep this cool. I have this set to 30°C. I could set it to as low as, like, I don't know, -20, but that's not really necessary. So yeah, these guys, when they turn on, they always produce 850 watts, the maximum power that they can produce, and they quickly charge my system. And the beautiful thing about these is that even if my system is drained completely, they still work just fine, because the door can still close and open, and even without power. And they don't have to be cooled. Like, the aqua tuner keeps this low enough that they could even run for quite a while without having to turn on the aqua tuner again. But I just have it make sure that it keeps it around the target temperature that I want. Oops, there we go. 17. Yeah, since it's fluctuating a lot, it's turning on and off a lot, but it'll stabilize eventually, the system, and we'll be golden. Yeah, so there is the double boiler and oxygen not included. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and if you want a more detailed explanation of exactly how to build it, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.